Thank you. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided indicating the time and place the same in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975. Advertising notice to Star Gazette and the Express Times by posting a copy of the bulletin board in this building. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Here.
Councilman Del Caro.
Here.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Here.
Council President Chesler.
Here.
Mayor Snyder.
Here. Executive session, stand, please.
Executive session was held from 7 to approximately 7:35. The topics of discussion were the emergency squad, Harmony, Lopatcong Municipal Court, stormwater management training, and executive session meeting minutes and attorney-client privilege. The meeting minutes will be available at such time as the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Thank you very much. All right. Public comment, agenda items, please.
Olszewski, Hollands Way. I have a couple of questions in regards to the appointments
Comments, but go ahead.
or comments. Sean Leahy, if I cannot ask a question, maybe I can ask after the meeting. I'm not sure under what ordinance or whatever, why are we appointing members of the LAA? That is something which I just don't understand. John Nickel, I have never seen the gentleman, and I think you told me as mayor that we would appoint people to boards who are participating or come regularly to meetings. I think I've seen John Nickel. I think that's the person who helped Lori with her campaigning, if I remember properly. And that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other comments? Okay, moving on. Under old business, item number 1 is to approve the minutes of October 27, November 12, 19, and December 3, 2014 meetings.
November 19th does have an amendment to the executive session topics in the resolution itself.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to abstain from any discussion on the 12th because I was not here. Beyond that, any other questions, comments? Correct. October 27th?
Were you here this one, Simon?
I think so.
Are you? I'm not sure.
All right.
No.
I was not?
No.
Okay. I guess I wasn't
You're
here.
homesick.
All right. So the 27th and the 12th. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, comments, motions? Okay. Motion on item 1.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes to all but November 12th executive session meeting minutes. I object to the minutes presented because they're inaccurate and inappropriate for the reasons I explained in executive session.
Councilman Del Caro.
I would say yes to the 27th, the 19th, and the 3rd. On the 12th, if Councilwoman Schneider would like to amend it, I'd like to give her the opportunity to do it on the minutes on the 12th.
I can't do that today. I can amend that in the next meeting if you'd like to put them on the table until next meeting.
Well, who amends the minutes? Since Katrina was acting as our scribe. I don't think I didn't. I don't know if the council person can.
You're giving him the opportunity. I mean, you're asking for.
Well, he voted.
have an
He essentially voted no.
Yeah, you can sort of, no.
As to the 12th. So let's finish taking the roll. Ms. McCain?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Council President Chesler, Mayor Steinhardt.
I'm
Yes.
abstaining on the 27th and the 12th. So the 19th and the 3rd pass.
Mhm.
So does the 27th. The 12th is therefore fails because it's 2-2. And they'll have to be revisited on either a subsequent date unless somebody wants to make a motion to do it otherwise. That's it.
Can we have it after the meeting? Tonight's meeting?
Have what?
To revisit that?
somebody, either
So you
Katrina
can,
or...
well, you're gonna have to revisit it, because at some point, the meeting
I'm not
minutes are gonna have
prepared
to
to
be
do that
adopted.
this evening. You're asking me to make an amendment, which I wasn't prepared to do. I would like some time. I need to do a little bit of
I
research
think
on that.
Katrina needs to amend them since she was the scribe. I don't think a council person can write the minutes, can
Can
they?
I make a
They
recommendation?
can make a recommendation, but you have to make
Yeah,
the
that has to
change.
go check.
Okay.
So if, Councilman Schneider, if you want to ask council to put it on for next agenda,
Yes.
if you want to make a recommendation, we can. Okay, I recommend it being put on the next agenda, so I have time to amend the minutes.
Yeah, that's simple. It fails anyway. I don't think you need an motion. You just have to keep relisting them until they get, somebody adopts, until they get adopted or not. All right, moving on. Item number 2. Ordinance number 2014-13, second reading and public hearing to adopt the Highlands Area Exemption Ordinance prepared by the Highlands Council to authorize the engineer Paul Sturban as the exemption designee to issue municipal exemption determinations for applicants on behalf of the municipality. No additional fee. Mr. Sturban?
This ordinance would allow the municipality to process certain Highlands exemption applications for properties within the planning area only. And those exemptions would be processed by me because I've had the training at the Highlands Council and have the certification as a result of that training.
Motion to open item 2 for public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Questions, comments?
I have just one question, Paul. Based on my comments at the last meeting about making sure council had copies of all applications coming in, does that need to be written in the ordinance, or is that something, I don't know if I don't have a copy of the ordinance in front of me, so I don't know what's on it.
My recollection is you would like to see the paperwork up front when it comes in, and I'm going to give, if we get an application like that, I'm going to get it to you
Yes.
when it comes in. So, and I think you may have wanted it before I issued the permit. I think there was two different times you wanted paperwork, and I'm going to provide that to you.
Okay,
And anybody else for that matter, to tell you the truth, so.
okay. I just want to make sure it's on, that we're okay with that. Okay, good, thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, is there a cost to the township for your services?
There's going to be no cost to an applicant for this.
Okay.
As you may be aware, I have a monthly retainer.
Mhm.
It's in the amount of $1,700. It covers any and all meeting attendance and certain activities that I do on a monthly basis. So this would be incorporated into that. This would not be a separate job number where I'd be charging for this. I've incorporated it into the monthly work that I'm doing.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Motion to close public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any other questions or comments from council? Motion item 2.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe? Yes. Council President Chesley?
Yes.
Mayor Snyder?
Yes, item number 3 is ordinance number 2014-14. It's a second reading and public hearing to adopt an ordinance to establish a clothing allowance for all qualified active members of the township's fire departments. I think you're,
Yes. Mhm.
yeah, sponsor, if you will.
Yeah, I'm
So,
a sponsor.
go ahead. Want
Do
to
we
give a
have
brief overview?
Do we have a motion? Do we make a motion
Well-
to open?
Do you want to give a brief description?
Okay, what I did was, created an ordinance to establish a clothing allowance for, our active members of the fire department. This is a way to, give back to the members because they can, damage their clothing in a fire, particularly if they're coming straight there and they don't have a chance to change into like, their sloppy clothes. But it's also a way to increase participation in our fire department. It's just it's a little incentive, nothing huge, but it is something that, they know if they go to their meetings, if they go to their drills, if they try to get to as many calls as they can, that they are going to be able to get this, and it can just help them all around.
Requires that they attend 40%.
40%, they need to attend 40% of the meetings, drills, and fire calls of their department.
Motion to open item 3 for public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Folks, questions, comments? Motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Questions, comments from council? Motion item 3.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Belcarro?
Abstain.
Councilwoman McCabe? Yes. Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor Snyder.
Yes, item 4 is ordinance number 2014-15, second reading and public hearing to update the Recreation Committee to include wording omitted when created. Again, I believe.
Yeah, I
Joseph
sponsored
was
that. I just wanted to, this hasn't been published yet, and in trying to keep with the accuracy of what we actually do here, I wanted it to reflect that the appointments are made by mayor with the consent of council, and also to give, added a little wording to give people the right to bow out of a hearing if they don't want it.
Motion to open item 4 for public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Questions or comments from the public? Motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Questions or comments from council?
Just one question. When you say wording omitted, you're actually saying wording change. You're changing the wording. It wasn't omitted, it's changing it because it went from mayor to mayor with consent.
Well, I
Which
could
is fine.
argue that it was omitted too, since it wasn't there previously, and that's what omitted means.
But the
It
statute
wasn't
was only for mayor, now it's changed. So it's just the omitted it should be changed, not omitted.
It's 6 one way, half a dozen another. It wasn't
It's not
there, so it's omitted.
actually, it's not like you forgot to put it, that it was in the original and you forgot to carry it over. You're actually changing it, not omitting it.
Do you want to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to,
How's your motion going to read?
the same way it reads now.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe. Yes. Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor Snyder.
Yes, item 5 is ordinance number 2014-16, second reading and public hearing to update the salary ordinance. Still, you on that?
I have nothing to add.
Motion to open item 5 for public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Actually, this is related to the police. I think. I want to fire away first.
Well, it's actually, it's a kind of a
Yes,
hodgepodge of ordinance changes. I didn't have a part in doing the salary ordinance because I guess my position stopped at the negotiation. So as with the last month, I wasn't prepared to say anything
Didn't want to exclude
for
you,
that.
so
Yeah,
no
it's
problem.
not, it was just,
Okay, fair
so
enough.
their salary changes, there's salary changes in there for DPW based on their new contract. There's salary changes for the police department based on their new contract. And there were, I think there were 1 or 2 others in there that weren't of any significance. So that's the gist of what is in the salary ordinance change.
No problem. I just didn't want to exclude you. So, okay. Motion to open item 5 for public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Yes, ma'am.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Folks, questions, comments? Motion to close. Oh,
I just want to say I appreciate the explanation of what. Thank you. Oh, my God.
God forbid. Thank you.
So has anyone,
motion to close public hearing?
I just want to make sure, has anyone done?
Has
checked the
anybody
numbers?
done the math?
Anyone done the, check the numbers?
Yes,
I didn't-
yes, I actually, I looked it over and I actually brought it to the police that were part of negotiations to relook at the numbers. The chief looked at the numbers and they were all in agreement that they were accurate.
On that basis, motion to close public hearing?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any other questions, council? Motion item 5. Anybody?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe. Yes. Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor Snyder.
Yes, item number 6, ordinance number 2014-17, second reading and public hearing, provide Title 39 motor vehicle and traffic regulations to Phillipsburg Athletic Complex. I'm happy to cover this one. At the request of Phillipsburg High School, we were asked to adopt an ordinance giving our police department the authority to write Title 39, which is motor vehicle enforcement summonses at the Phillipsburg Athletic Complex. Given that the property is still privately owned, in this case by the School Development Corporation, we have no authority to do that until such time as the property owners consent and the town adopts an ordinance. This ordinance would therefore enable them to do just that. Motion to open item 6 for public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Folks, questions, comments?
Thank you for that explanation.
Want to get promoted to Congress too?
Yeah.
Motion to close?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Questions, comments from council?
No, thank you for bringing this forward because they definitely need it.
Yeah, it was a little
Yeah.
slow going
Mhm.
because of the SDC, but it worked out.
Especially with all the young drivers.
Motion on item 6.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McKee. Yes. Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Yes, can you please communicate that, Mr. Shando? Tomorrow?
Absolutely.
All right, under new business, item number 1 is a quote for yearly maintenance of traffic control device at Baltimore Street and Red School Lane. Mr. Sturman, it's my understanding that the light was down. As a result, there's a recommendation perhaps to enter into a maintenance contract. Is that accurate?
It just gives you some background. The township does own a traffic signal. It's at Red School Lane and Baltimore Street. It was built by Larkin as part of the Warren Heights development. Probably was built in the 2002, 2003 timeframe. Thankfully, we have had no issues with that traffic signal. Recently, though, there was an issue. I got a phone call from Beth. We had a contractor within a few hours out there to fix it. In fact, it was the contractor that supplied the quote for the maintenance agreement. I asked the contractor after he completed the work to issue a quote for a yearly maintenance check of the signal to keep it in good operating condition. So this is what was produced for you. So I asked Beth to put it on the agenda tonight for your review, see if it was something that you were interested in contracting for on a yearly basis.
Any questions from council, Mr. Sturman?
Yes. Paul, this is the first time we had an incident, right?
It was
Okay. It's been about 10, 11 years.
11 years, I would say.
Okay. So my question would be, is it really necessary to do a yearly maintenance? Can we go maybe every 3, maybe 5?
It's your call. I mean,
Right.
if something happens 2 years from now, if you don't enter into this agreement, something happens 2 years from now, Beth calls me, I'm going to get that contractor out there as soon as I can, probably be able to get him out there the same day. You're going to probably pay a premium for that because he's going to be redirecting himself from some other job. But it's another approach that you can take here. You can just pay as you go.
I don't know if you gave it, or was the figure from when you had to send it out last time? Yeah, you know.
My recollection was somewhere in the $1,000 to $1,500 range.
That's about right.
And the cost of the yearly contract is what?
$2,500.
Is there like a lifespan on these lights? And is it due to croak or what? I mean, is it something we should be replacing or?
No, I don't think you need to maintain it, but the point of this was to have somebody look at it on a yearly basis and do necessary checking and cleaning of the facility so that it remains in good operating order and you don't have to replace it prematurely.
Do you recall what the specific problem was that caused it to have, when they repaired it, what was wrong with it?
It was with the beacon.
I don't know what that, I've never.
That's a signal head and the bulbs in the signal head. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You would know that it is.
Yeah.
I guess my question would be, if it's the first time in roughly 12 years that you had to replace it, does it make more sense to wait and see if it happens again in a year or so when you know you're only going to spend another, hopefully $1,500, or to enter into a contract, for $2,500 a year or more, less frequently, depending on whether you take Mr. Belcaro's suggestion, and just kind of wait and see what happens the next 2 or 3 years, figuring that, you're either on the hook for $2,500, or hopefully at worst another $1,500 approximately, depending on what happens to it. Right?
I think it's reasonable to take a look and see approach, and maybe not do this now, but if something were to happen or if a lot of things, if some other needs come up, then this would be a good way to go.
And the service contract covers what? What's the $2,500 cover? Anything that goes wrong with a traffic light, or is it like the typical insurance agreement, right? doesn't cover half the things you think.
Is really maintenance and checking. One of the things that was done when they
Really
came,
maintenance and checking. So
Yeah.
if they go out and check it and find that you have the same problem, what you call it, a beacon.
Beacon.
Another beacon out, we're still gonna pay, we're gonna pay the $2,500 service
Right.
contract, and when it was enough to pay the $1,500 to replace the beacon, right?
it would,
How much is the beacon?
About $1,500.
Wasn't that the call, was 1,500 or
No,
is that the
That was the
report?
whole-
what was done is they fixed the light. I had them clean the meter cabinet and a lot of the electrical equipment out there since they were there, since it had never been done before. So it was a little bit more than just fixing the problem. There was some maintenance done.
So I defer to you guys. What do you think is best?
So, yeah, make it very clear, you don't have to do this. That's why it was put on as a discussion item. I took the initiative, I guess, to get something to present it to you because you do have a piece of infrastructure you own and maintain. And, again, by no means do you need to do this, and you can take a look and see and pay as you go, I guess, policy toward it moving forward.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, like the wait and see.
I agree with Lou.
All right, so moving on for now. Item number 2 is to approve a request from architect.
Thank you,
Thanks, Paul,
Paul.
very much.
Thank
Item number 2 is to approve a request from architects confidential tax payment claim.
That's me. This way. Every property owner has the right to come to the town and ask for a one-time payment plan, which by one time, it means one time per property. So someone sells a house 4 owners later, you still can't get a payment plan if you're delinquent. So Architects has reached out through me requesting a one-time payment plan. At the time they made the request, they were delinquent $108,440.96 on lot 29. They were delinquent on their sewer about $6,000, and they were delinquent on block 12.058 thousand and change. Since that time, they have paid all of 12.05, the
Okay.
8,000. They've paid their sewer, and they've paid $25,000 towards lot 29, what they think is a good faith showing that they're making these payments. The remaining balance is $83,450.96. And they are proposing to make 10 monthly installments of $8,345.09 on this money that's due. And they also ask that if you have to charge them interest, that you charge a nominal rate. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
The reason they're asking for this is if this money rolls over into 2015 and they are not in a payment plan or they have not paid, in addition to interest, they pay a 6% penalty,
Okay.
which is over $5,000. Before it was more because they owed more. But on the $83,000 they currently owe, it's a $5,000 penalty. So they are making this request. I told them that it was completely up to council. I warned them that if they get this approved by council, they can never make this request again. No one who owns this property can ever make this request again. It goes in their tax file and it stays there. They understand, and they are asking if they,
What happens if they default?
well, that would be part of the payment plan. Because if they default, they have 30 days or 60 days to pay the balance in full. Otherwise, we can then go forward, put them on the tax sale list. And we can even put in there that the interest that they would have paid, the penalty could be added to it. I would recommend that you may want to continue with the interest and tell them, well, the interest is still going to accrue.
Right.
We're just going to give you 10 months to make those payments. This way, it saves them, the $5,000 in penalties, but they would still pay the interest because everyone else has to pay their interest.
Are they also, or can they also be required as part of the same agreement to make sure that they stay current on
Yes.
their current taxes, at least in so far? I'm sure you can't.
Right.
Obviously, if they make all their payments, you can't enforce that part going, beyond the 10-month period. But at least for the 10-month period, you can require that they stay current with the current taxes as well.
Absolutely. We always put that in there. And this particular property owner, kind of the MO is they don't pay their taxes. They file a tax appeal.
Right.
They have to pay their taxes and become current for their taxes.
Right.
But because we settled their tax appeal last year, they didn't have to pay their taxes this year to get it. So I think that's what got them in this predicament. But
There's no other tax year out there that they
No.
were left to appeal on.
No.
So it doesn't need to be a clause in there that says that they waive any other potential appeals for any of the taxes that are the subject of this agreement, correct?
Correct. They are. We have
You're all
everything
good
is
at
all settled. Everything's been credited.
What about for the current tax year?
we settled that one as well.
Okay.
So
So they're
2015,
all-
they could apply for, but
Right, but that's beyond
they
this
still
year.
have to make those payments for 15. If they
Mhm.
were to,
Right.
they would still have to make them. So the fact that we put in the agreement, they have to pay them,
Mhm.
doesn't stop them from having to pay them.
How much are their taxes on a yearly basis?
I think about $100,000
About
on that one
100,000.
lot. The one
On the
lot
one
is
lot.
the golf course. The other lot that I was talking about that they owed 8 is the little house
Right.
that they
Mhm.
own.
Mhm.
separate.
Okay,
But
so they're
still-
gonna have to pay like the 8,000 plus a month, plus about 25,000 quarterly.
Plus the sewer.
Plus the
and
sewer.
8,000 on the other lot.
Yeah, on the other lot.
Do you want me to include in the agreement that they have to be current on both lots and their sewer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Mhm.
reasonable. And you're okay with the 10-month installment, the 8,000? I would just ask you to make a motion to approve that.
Somebody want to make a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Roll call. Discussion? Further discussion?
I just wanted to say, although the better solution would be to get it all at once, you don't want them to. I mean, they're a big part of the community and they, people like going there and they pay, they're a rateable. So I say we go forward with it and it's a yes.
I also, just to speak on that, I believe it also helps your uncollected tax rate ratio
Mhm.
better to that, but
Okay.
it doesn't show it as outstanding when
Right,
you
okay.
roll over into the next year. So because it's under a payment plan, that also helps. It helps Rachel's uncollected tax rate.
Okay.
It helps your for budgeting purposes,
How
auditing.
much you have to set aside to.
Yeah, there's going to-
There is a little incentive to the town. You're not being totally.
Right, yeah. Getcha.
Gratuitous. All right, so Ms. Schneider voted yes, Ms. O'Carroll, right?
Yes.
Good.
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor Snyder.
Yes. All right, items 1 through 23 represent a consent agenda. So I want to make a motion. Then we'll have a discussion after. the
Motion.
All right, is there a second?
Wait for all of these?
Yep.
Just to open it for discussion.
Oh, yes, the second.
Okay, discussion? Anybody? Particular item? Anything in particular?
Anybody else have anything?
Yes,
There's a motion and a second.
I have some discussion. Is that, now
Yeah,
you want
go
me to do that? Okay.
Fire away.
Let's see, on the 3 in-house promotions, what has changed in their job duties from being a keyboardist 1 to a keyboarding clerk 3? And the deputy registrar of vital statistics, what has changed in their current position to create a in-house promotion?
Well, these 3 employees, were employed Shirley 16 years. Eileen Apple probably, maybe 14 or 15 years, and Phyllis since 2007. And they have both, Phyllis and Eileen have taken on numerous responsibilities outside of their regular duties over the years at no additional pay. So they support other departments. Shirley's position should really be 2 people in that department supporting the police. It has increased substantially. And I'm sure over the years, with the Oprah law that's come into place, that has become a burdensome chore for her. So she stays a lot of times over her regular hours to get her work done. They have supporting letters from myself, on Phyllis, the chief of police for Shirley, and John Fritz, the construction official, have all made these recommendations. Which I support.
So, so were they doing things as a
So,
keyboardist
they
1
had
that should have been a 3?
They have progressed from keyboarding 1 to the keyboarding 3.
Okay.
So, yes, they have.
Okay,
Starting out working under close supervision and now, under their own direction.
okay,
They have assumed numerous responsibilities.
okay. Okay, fair enough. And number 10, can somebody explain what the Warren County Municipal and Charitable Conservancy Trust Fund Committee is? And did it require a council person to be the volunteer?
It's a rotating committee from town to town. There's usually a representative from each town. Our turn is in the barrels this month.
Region 2.
Yeah, and in fact, I don't remember when we last had representatives. It's been a couple of years, but we rotate amongst municipalities. It's our turn to designate somebody.
And does it need to be a council person? Does that help?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily. I think that's
Well,
done it in the past.
yeah, they do request a council person, but I've done a position.
Bill did it forever,
Yeah.
at least a couple times
Bill
we had
Baker
it.
had it for many, many
And then I
years.
think after Bill left councils, when the last time that we had it available was or I think actually you just took over for Bill. Actually. This is the first time we've had an opportunity to appoint somebody.
Okay, I made a couple of calls today, and my take on it was that it could be a resident and not a council person. So I'm just wondering why we didn't go to the
That's correct. It
volunteers.
could be a resident,
Okay,
but it's never been. It's always been a council position or an employee of the town.
for Lopatcong's choice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm just, why we wouldn't bring it to all these people that fill out our volunteer forms. That would be a great opportunity for a volunteer.
I think Lori would be a very good representative.
I'm
I
not
don't have a
questioning
problem
her
with appointing
qualifications. It's just, there's a lot of responsibility here on council. Just thought it'd be nice to have another opportunity for a volunteer.
Thank you. You have a couple others or other?
I think that is it.
That's it. You have one
had the one
correction.
item, yeah,
We want to make one correction. Just notice the number 11. Beth, please. It's and Lori brought it to my attention.
Yeah.
It's $1,100. It was $1,250 if it wasn't paid by February 15th.
Oh, okay.
So it's only $1,100. All right. So that was it from council. So if there's no other questions or comments from council, there's a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilman Del Caro,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe,
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Yes. Council reports.
Two things. The last Board of Education meeting I attended, there was a lot of discussion about the new high school. And again, the discussion about the secondary road, the emergency access road to the high school. From what Mr. Steinhardt said last meeting, that there was no discussion. There was, you didn't hear anything about that coming up. And I believe the board also confirmed that. However, there's many residents, many parents in the town that are very concerned about that. There was a suggestion to have a letter go out to the Township of Phillipsburg with some residents requesting it, and hope maybe with the support of the board and possibly council. It was just a brief discussion. Nothing was in stone. It was just something that we may explore. But that was a very important topic that was discussed that night. DPW, they are finished with their leaf collection, and they will be picked up soon by the company that comes and gets our leaves. Unfortunately, the cost of picking up our leaves is around $7,000, which I think is kind of steep for picking up a bunch of leaves. But there's not many choices out there right now for a company. Perhaps next year, maybe we can find something a little more economical. Your hands are tied when you have no other option but to have a company come in and take the leaves. But we're hoping that maybe there might be some different companies next year that could do that for a little bit less. The Christmas tree pickup will be the entire month of January. Please try to get your trees out on the curb. Please don't put them out before a huge snowstorm is about to occur, because your tree will be under the snow for many months, and we would hate to have the DPW guys have to come back in March or April to pick up your tree. That's it. Wait, one more thing. The truck is still not in for DPW. The new truck that we purchased. Apparently we were pushed back a little bit because of the way we had to approve it through council. So we're hoping that the truck comes in within the next couple of weeks or before a snowstorm, whichever comes first. So we're still waiting on that. That's all I have. Thank you.
I have a question. Do we pick up trees in March if they're buried under snow,
Yes.
or is it done deal?
They will try. Well, yeah, I can't say yes. They will try. It's
Right. Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna say no to it, or put it in there, but, you gotta have a cutoff somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
All right, that's the end of the month. I mean, if you want it out like that, you really.
Okay.
Need to, or you can bring it down.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I was anticipating that all this digging will be completed by the end of this month, as I said earlier, the past couple of meetings. So it hasn't, and still, I believe, there's a few weeks digging left, and that's, determined by the weather as well. So if we're gonna get these snowstorms, they'll continue the construction until it's completed. That's it for the sewer report. But I want to flip to the other side now. I just want to say a few words to Doug. Only because last month I didn't have the opportunity. But Doug, I just want to, for the past couple of years, I got to know you. I want to thank you for the 15 years service to this township. In the 2 years I got to know you, and as a person, in my heart, I believe you have the utmost integrity. Even with some of the allegations that went on in the past couple of years, I've seen a different side of you. I hope that that sort of nonsense, that sort of accusations, that is forgotten, because there's no validity or truth to that, and I can testify to that. It's an honor to, I've learned a lot from working up here with you, seeing you in action. And saying that, no one up here is a punching bag. Everyone has a right to defend themselves. When the fingers are pointed, when there's allegations, when you're accusing, not to be taken. And that's the truth. And I know some people are making faces out there right now, Pete.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of person you are. But Doug, those are big shoes to fill, big responsibility. And this township loses a valuable asset. 15 years is a long run for anybody. Having said that, I just want to thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Mr. McKee?
Wow, it's tough to follow. I just have two short things. One, in keeping the lines of communication open with the seniors, I have reached out to the senior homes, and I've made some contacts there, and some people that, I can keep in the loop if anything comes up that we need to advise them of. Continue to work on some of the other locations and come up with some other ideas, and trying to keep our seniors in the loop as to what's going on with the town, because as we all know that, and this applies to everyone, not everybody has computers and access to the website and things like that. So I do want to make sure that, and especially in the case of an emergency, that we work on our lines of communication and try to reach as many residents as possible. So I will continue to work on that, and try to establish a protocol when something occurs that needs to be followed, that we can do in the future. Secondly, on a happy note, our EDA committee, we finally got our cards. Miracle of miracles. This is our discount cards, $5. They're $5 each, and we've got discounts from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, about 13 businesses. And yes, bring your glasses, because we had to shrink it all in here. But we got some good ones. We've got some from Friendly's, from Pizza Hut, UPS store, Brass Rail. We've got some nice deals in here, and you'll get your $5 back in 1 year.
Yeah.
So if you'd like, you can purchase one tonight. Again, $5. If not, they will be available at the office on an ongoing basis. These are good for 1 year. So from 12/31 this year to 12/31 of next year. So, this was a lot of work. You look at a little card and think nothing of it, but let me tell you, there was a lot of footwork involved and a lot of tracking, and thank you to the EDAC committee. There was a lot of contributions from our EDAC members that really, stepped up and did the work, because there is work involved in these things. So,
Thank you.
if anyone's interested in buying one tonight, they're available. And also, I would like to say thank you to the mayor for his years of service. It's quite an accomplishment, and we will miss you, and we thank you for running our meetings and keeping us moving forward. And, thank you, $5, got it. So that's all. Keep it short. Thanks.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, the first thing I'd like to do is I have to make a motion. As you know, we're going to a paid EMS service. It is taking a lot longer than they anticipated to go through all the legal hoops and red tape that they need to do. Right now, Phillipsburg is covering for us during the day. Phillipsburg, as you know, is a paid force as well. However, Phillipsburg, it needs to cover Phillipsburg itself. It's becoming a drain on their resources. What the EMS wants to do is they want to go and look out to different towns like Mansfield, Hackettstown, and a couple others. Get some quotes from them, just get a contract basically, and enter into an agreement with them to cover us for the next 3 months. What they would do is they would do the same thing. They're paid. They're going to bill the person who's getting picked up. It's no cost to the township. However, what they will do is they will make sure that they have an ambulance and staff here in Lopatcong. So, and they will answer the calls from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Like I said, they're getting their paid service up and running. It's taking longer than we expected. We're really draining Phillipsburg's resources, and we need to make sure that our response time is what it needs to be for the health of our residents. So what they're doing is they're going out and getting contracts, and I just want to make a motion to allow Katrina to review them to make sure they're acceptable for the township to enter into and don't open us to any additional liability.
So moved.
Motion?
I made it. Is there a second? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor Snyder?
Yes.
Okay, for my report, the LAA, everything's going well. Dave Luber retired. He was our softball director for many years. He took that program and raised it up to where it's getting a lot of recognition, put softball on the map, so to speak. For the first time ever, we had the softball all-star game here, which is a big thing. They loved being here. He was part of the Paxil League, and he was very influential in getting this program some recognition. However, his daughter that plays softball, I think, is now going to, I don't know, she's a freshman or sophomore in high school. He's more into the competition leagues now and the high school leagues. Sean Leahy has been his assistant director for the past year. He was our only applicant for softball, but he was our strong internal candidate because he is very dedicated to this program, not only this program, but also other programs within the LAA. And we appointed him through the consent agenda. Also, the LAA, in conjunction with the LEA and the PTA, is having a fundraiser for a child in our township that has been diagnosed with leukemia. This fundraiser is going to be on January 10th at the middle school from 4 to 8 p.m. It is a spaghetti dinner. Again, the LAA, the LEA, and the PTA are running this, but there are many, many volunteers throughout the town that are helping out. Tickets are $8 for adults, $5 for children and for seniors, and for a family of 4, you can get a $20 family pack, and then you just pay $5 additional for any other family members. If you want any information, feel free to reach out to Kenny and Sarah Lutz from the LAA.
The Girl Scouts are also part of that. They're coordinating that as well. So they're part of the LEA, LAA, and
Yeah, many groups are involved.
yeah, but the Girl Scouts have had a major contribution to that spaghetti dinner, as well as other things for them as well.
Mm-hmm. Recreation, our calendar is being printed. It should be here soon. I'll let you know once that is and put that up on the website how you can get that. I'm working on my year-end report. We did a lot this year. We didn't do as much as we wanted to because we got involved in some other great events like the veterans, but we're moving forward and we have some great things for next year. Technology. As far as the EDAC card goes, we're actually created a page for this card, and it's going to list all the businesses that are on this card with a link to their website and a little bit about their discount there. Also, we are upgrading our website next year. I'll be talking about that in January. Email lists will be coming very shortly, probably within the next week or so. Online payments also we're working on. We should have that in place for February for your sewer and tax, and then eventually we'll get to dog licenses. Oh, and as a reminder, your dog license is now due. Make sure you get those rabies shots. If you didn't, you can look for the free clinics on the door. I just have 2 questions for Paul. I know that we were going out to bid for Reservoir Road. I don't know if we've got anything back on that yet, or?
The bid documents are being worked on.
Okay.
Their pricing is going to be sought in the next week or so.
Okay. And the only other question I have for you was the Baltimore and First Street, the 4-way stop. Do you know when we'll be putting those up, or do we need to authorize the DPW to do that?
We have to get the ordinance down to the Commissioner of the
Okay.
Department of Transportation, so that's the first step.
Okay.
So, and then once the Commissioner approves it, then the ordinance is approved, and we can make that installation.
Do we need to do anything to get that ordinance down, or?
I just
As
need
a
a
council?
certified copy from Beth,
Okay.
and then we can make that submission, so.
For Baltimore and First. And then, I would respectfully ask if I could, after we go through, let's see, he's not paying attention.
What?
I would like to finish. I have something else to say, but yeah, that's okay. I would like to finish up after public comment if I could. I would like to be the last one to speak.
Man,
Thank you.
I'll get the last word today.
Well, you can get the last word in, but I'll get the second to last word.
All right.
How's that?
Yeah, that's fine. All right, you're done?
Yeah.
Mr. Schneider mentioned that the DPW truck that hasn't come in yet, but I do want to acknowledge Chief LaFord. Despite the way it was handled at council, the engine was delivered when Chief December 12th. I was there when it came in, as were most of the volunteer firemen. And for those of you who had a chance to see Santa riding around the neighborhood, you probably saw the truck in at least in volunteer operation. But as we said to those guys that night, hope they never have to use it except in a parade. But I wish them the best with it. I'm sure it will be well taken care of. The municipal court shared service agreement with Harmony Township expires on December 31st. Therefore, it's necessary to enter into a temporary agreement so that court continues in operation on January 1st until such time as the new administration can negotiate, if they choose to do so, a new court agreement, whether it be with Harmony or with anybody else, but so as not to have a lull in court coverage in either of the 2 towns. We have Ms. Diltz identified a temporary administrator, court administrator to come in and take over 2 days a week, 8 hours a day, well, 7 hours a day, I guess, right? 8 hours plus an hour for lunch. But from Alpha,
Yes.
to retire, because our court administrator is going to be out for some medical leave for a period of time. She's going to come in and help get the summonses and things together. So there's really 2 items. First, we need a motion to, what's her name? Kathy Coupon, the service, the temporary administrator for the next roughly, you want a 3-month time for now, correct?
Yes.
For the next 3 months, pending Irene's return, $25 an hour, 2 days a week, correct? Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilman Belcarro,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe,
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Yes, and second is to authorize council to entertain the temporary agreement with Harmony Township pending a permanent agreement regarding the shared court between our 2 municipalities. Correct?
Yes.
Motion in that regard?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe,
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor Snyder.
Yes. Bear with me one second. One last thing, couple quick legal updates. About 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, it might not even have been that long ago, 10 days ago, I received a copy of the order from John Inglesino's office. John Inglesino is the attorney that's handling for us the litigation against the town of Phillipsburg on the roughly $1.2 million we allege that they owe us on sewer charges. Phillipsburg had made a motion to dismiss our complaints. It's called a summary judgment motion. They argued that there was no legal or factual basis for our claims. I'm happy to inform you guys that we were successful. The motion was dismissed. The matter will now move forward based on our claims. And we'll afford the new administration an opportunity, should they wish to do so, to enter into some meaningful discussions with P-Burg. I don't think they ever felt, one, that we would move forward, or two, that we were, they don't think they really took it seriously. But the fact that they're now headed to a court date, unless they sit down and entertain some discussions with us, would suggest that they may wish to do so. So that came in a week or two ago. And I would say a couple weeks prior to that, we also received notice that the second asphalt plant complaint, the one filed by the handful of residents, the roughly 21 count complaint, that alleged, well, a lot of the same things that the first one did. All this had to do with meeting notices and a couple more allegations about my conflicts, and some of the other conflicts of the various folks involved. Much as the first complaint ended up in all, I think, roughly 16 counts of that one, well, all 21 counts of the second complaint were also dismissed in their entirety and summarily as having no basis again. So there ends that, at least from the trial court level. The question will remains, I guess, whether or not there'll be an appeal. In any event, it goes wherever it goes, but that's the status of that in terms of the two outstanding pieces of litigation. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else in terms of council reports. Tax collector's not here, CFO's not here. Mr. Sturbins?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to report to the council and the public that the South 3rd Street Improvement Project is complete at this point. We will be holding about $6,300 of the contractor's money because the contractor needs to come back and re-topsoil and stabilize some of the lawn areas that were disturbed during that project. We hope to get that done in April and early May once the weather turns here and it's suitable time to grow grass. Just to let the council know, the final dollar figure for that contract is $227,574. The original contract amount was $227,051, so there was a $523 increase in the contract. It's 0.23%. The cause of that, we did a little bit more curb and sidewalk work, and there was a little bit more asphalt that was done on the project. A lot of that was counterbalanced by some savings that we achieved. Again, there is a net increase of $523. It's all covered by the grant. As you're aware, we have $265,000 in grants from the DOT, so this will all be covered when we close out the project after we get this topsoiling work done in the spring. Any questions on that? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Motion to approve department reports?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Vaccaro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor Snyder?
Yes, pay bills?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Vaccaro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor Snyder?
Yes. Folks, questions? Well, comments? All right. Oh, Mr. Schuster.
Last meeting I said something.
You have to come up and,
He's
say
getting
your
there.
name,
Well,
yeah.
Hear me better.
You're doing fine, sir. Take it.
I know there's a lot of people here, I think people here unhappy, a lot of dissension with mayor, council, the way things are done. And I said last time best thing you can do is try to run for office, try to change it. Nobody's perfect, and I think if anybody gets up there, they're gonna find out. It's not a cakewalk up there. It's not as easy, very easy for us, you and me, to sit back here and complain and say, why don't you do this, why don't you do that? Until you're up there and see how things are. Mr. Service, if I'm way off base, let me know. I don't know how many people are doing the grants there. I do remember one thing. Principal Lane, I think you said like $220,000 grant you could get from the state. And this is what happens a lot with council. I think a lot of people don't realize that. Yeah, we get $220,000 from the state, but you're going to do what the state wants. Council doesn't want to do what the state wants. But in order to get the money, that's what they have to do. Am I right? Basically?
You have to comply with the DOT's requirements.
Yeah, because the county, and if the people don't know that, they get the grant money, they have to do what the state wants, and most of them are going to say, what the hell did you do that for? That was stupid. Why do you do it this way? Well, their hands are tied. In order to get the money, they can't do what they want. And I think council, throughout the years, their hands are tied with a lot of situations too. I think they do the best in the interest of the township, but a lot of decisions that they make, they don't like to make. But their hands are tied, so they do the best they can for us in the township. And I don't know how many people realize that, but I think we all have to realize that. Not all decisions that they make over the years, and I think all of them will admit that, are not decisions that they're happy with. But sometimes that's what they have to do. Mayor, I said something last time. Thanks for your service. It's been a pleasure. I think most people don't know everything he has done, not just here. Because this is not a job where they leave here and they go home and they show up next month. And I think a lot of people, if they get up there, they're going to find that out. That's where it's a full-time job. And I just want to thank him for all his years of service, dealing with everybody, us included, the public, different council members, to try to make things work. And I think he's done a heck of a good job over the years trying to appease everybody. And the last thing is, it's really not fair to down him or other council members. If people have a legitimate complaint, and a lot of us do, there's no problem being upset. But you have to get upset with the right people and the right situations. You can't just go off half-heartedly and say, oh, this one, that one, the other one. Study your things, figure out what's wrong, and go to the right people and get things done. Mayor, thanks very much.
Thanks, Mr. Schuster.
Thanks, Council.
Anybody else? Questions?
Yeah. And actually, my comment is really to Mr. Schuster. I'm not even addressing council. Because I
Wait, no, it's for council.
Okay,
It's for
To
council.
Mr. Schuster, I appreciate your comments, and I just want to echo that I agree with you, and if people, aren't happy with things, they should voice them in a proper forum, or they should run for office. I just don't know if you are aware that three people who are currently sitting up on council and our mayor-elect are people that many people in this audience supported and campaigned for. So we have done exactly what you suggested. So I just don't want you to think that we just show up and complain unnecessarily. We actually have motivated, moved together, and actually made a huge impact on the makeup of the current council. And also, I think many of us have submitted volunteer forms. We would love to be part of the process and put our intellect and research skills to work for the township. And we're hopeful that in the future, our desire to do good work for the benefit of the township will be appreciated, and we will be able to do that in the future. So I thank you so much for your concern. I just wanted to make you aware of those facts. Thanks.
Anybody else? Questions, comments? All right, we're done. Go ahead, you can finish it out then.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so, at the last meeting, we wanted to recognize Mayor Steinhardt. We felt, Beth and I and other members, that it should be his prior council that presented him with his proclamation because of all the work that they did together and because of the fact that it was not a contentious bunch of people, but people that came together and worked well together. So now, however, it's my turn. I first moved to Lopat, and I'm reading this because I had to write it out, sorry. I first moved to Lopat in November of 1999, the same month that Mayor Steinhardt was first elected to the office of mayor. For the last 15 years, he's been our mayor. I, like many of you, have known no other mayor. Tonight marks the last meeting of his tenure. Before being on council, I must admit I had no real interaction with him. Everywhere I went, I saw Councilman Mengucci. He was obviously the outgoing member of our previous council. I knew of Mayor Steinhardt through the Mengucci family, so I knew of his professional and political successes. I knew he was a good friend to them as well. Even though I know for a fact that I was on the football field at the same time as him for an entire season and also at school events together, our paths did not cross. I did see him once at Community Day years ago and recognized that he was my mayor and said hello, but I only got a little sort of grunt in reply, which only further solidified my theory that Mengucci was the outgoing one. That, however, was the gist of my interaction with the mayor.
Thanks.
No problem. So I really only got to know Mayor Steinhardt here in this room. As you all may know, I became involved in town politics when the asphalt plant was before the planning board in 2012. I had always wanted to be more involved, but when my kids were young, I was very involved in the PTA, their schools, and their activities, and never got to a meeting, although I did want to attend. Thankfully, Mr. Mengucci kept me informed, but still, in hindsight, I wish I had come to meetings prior to 2012, because seeing this man in action is truly amazing. Even though we were on different sides of the aisle with the asphalt plant, I came to admire him. Up here on the dais is where he belongs. He has a wealth of knowledge and knows how to use it. Quick on his mental feet, the answers come with little prodding, and they are accurate and on the mark. When someone is being politically obnoxious, he can see through the nonsense and deliver a rebuttal immediately and effectively. He will vigorously defend anyone unjustly accused of anything and will lend a hand to help anyone in need. I had prided myself on being a person that was open-minded and gave everyone a chance and didn't judge. I'm not sure what happened to me in 2012, but I was not myself. I got caught up in the hysteria, and I judged people without knowing all the facts or knowing them personally. I did shake that behavior off relatively quick, but still it embarrasses me. I am much smarter than that, and my parents certainly raised me to be a better person than that. I have already made my private apology, but now I'll make my public apology. I thought the worst of this man sitting next to me without having all the facts, and I sincerely apologize. I fell for the conspiracy theories without doing my homework. I apologize for any pain that I may have caused him or anyone else involved. Since then, I've been doing my homework diligently and can tell you there's nothing going on here. This man may be an excellent attorney and not one you want to spar with because he will not hold back, but he is an honorable man. I sincerely apologize for ever thinking otherwise. This may not be apparent to everyone in town or in this room, due to the malicious gossip mongering that is rampant, but outside of here, it is well known. He's going to kill me for this, but this year alone, he was nominated by his peers to be Mayor of the Year and also DARE's Man of the Year. After I was elected, I came to council in a professional manner and put my best foot forward. I truly believe that you get back what you put out in the world, and that was proven true here. I was not mistreated or maligned at all. I have to imagine it was not easy meeting with someone who seemed to think the worst of you, but he did anyway, and he took my lead and kept it professional, and somehow both of us not only survived our first meeting together, but we also laid down the foundation of a productive working relationship. Not that he didn't get his lumps in, he did by giving me the most difficult board of them all, the LAA. But here's a great example of who Doug really is. Yes, he thought that if I thought I could do a much better job than him, he'd give me the opportunity to do so by giving me the notorious LAA. But when I did have a really difficult moment with him, with them, not him, with the LAA, he had my back so quickly and forcefully that it actually left me breathless. This is a man you want on your side, on your defense. Lopat has been very lucky to have him on her side for the last 15 years, that I can say for certain. We don't agree on everything, but he always gives me the space to explain myself. In the 2 years we've worked together, I'm proud to say he only hung up on me once. There's a good probability he threw the phone across the room after doing so, but I don't know that for sure. I do know that he is actually interested in why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking, and he's that way with everyone who deserves such respect. His intellectual ability and curiosity are a benefit to everyone, and he genuinely cares. His passion is unmatched, as so is his loyalty. And loyal to this town, he really has been. Time will show that. I have since taken some lumps for defending him rather than attacking him, but that's okay. You can't be the successful lawyer that he is without ruffling some feathers and making some enemies, and that is exactly what is really going on here, folks. Time will show that the lies and false conspiracy theories about this man have their baseless roots in personal vendettas and personal hatred. Truth is the light that always shatters the lies of darkness. I know the truth now, and one day so will everyone. The foundation we began working on in January 2013 has turned into one of the best working relationships I have ever had the pleasure of being a part of. And I thank him greatly for that. I thank him for giving me a chance. I thank him for giving me the space to share my ideas. I thank him for supporting me as I brought them to life. But most of all, I thank him for all he has done for me, not as a councilwoman, but as a 15-year resident of Lopatcong. It has been my absolute pleasure to be his council president, but more importantly, it has been my absolute pleasure to have had him as my mayor. I will greatly miss having him up here on this dais beside me. To quote Dr. Seuss, congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the guy who'll decide where to go. Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way up, you'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to high heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang, and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. God bless, good luck in all you do, and most of all, thank you.
Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure. I wish Mr. McKay the best of luck. I hope he, despite the controversies, I hope he enjoys it as much as I did. It certainly was well worth it. It's made me a better person. I hope in some small way, despite the one issue that seems to have divided some of us, the town's a better place as a result of something that I did while I was here. That said, thank you to Ms. Stilts, to Phyllis, to all the other folks that have worked here over the years. Like I said, it's truly been a pleasure. You and my colleagues on council, we didn't agree. I still have the utmost respect for each and every one of you for having the courage to sit up here. So that said, make a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.